because that way we could fit more people on the panel and more guests on the panel as well. So it's something I'm experimenting with. Um, yeah, just trying it out. So anyway, we are probably like on episode, I don't know, 32 by now for season 2. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into our panel members. Mav, what's up, man?
How's it going? Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday right now. I streamed Fortnite event a little bit earlier. That was fun. They kind of left us hanging right now though, so we gotta wait to see what's gonna happen on the to be continued. But yeah, man, just kind of hanging out and chilling.
And then we have the Belgium sensation across the nation who's taking it easy lately, and he's multitasking on his couch with his PC, his 65-inch OLED TV, his Xbox Series X, and whatever else comes up in his shenanigans. And no candy bowl for him over there. What's up, Flamish?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me, Clownz, as well. Yeah, so as you guys know, I put up a message on Twitter where I said I had some bad news from the doctor who said I had scoliosis and I could not sit in my chair on my desk anymore because it really hurts my back. Like there's a little point between my shoulder blades that really hurts all the time. And I don't have that in my couch. So I was like, let me buy this, like they say, a lap guard. Let me put my PC downstairs on my OLED TV because you can play on the OLED, it seems. And let me play this way. And now I can enjoy my Shadowlands again, Clownz. I can play World of Warcraft again. So happy.
I know, and now you started your own guild called like the Soul Reapers or something.
Soul Harvesters.
Very close. Soul Reapers, Soul Harvesters. You know. So I can't wait to join in on that. And VJ, what's going on, man?
Hi, Clownz. How you doing? Yeah, thanks for having me back on the show. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to discussing this week's topics with the panel and friends in the chat. And yeah, hopefully it's going to be an interesting couple of hours.
Yep, I hope so too, VJ. I hope topics were good. I mean, like there was some topics out there, and then there were some topics that just weren't really big this week. So,
I think they're all good. It's just a case of what the panel makes of it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, VJ, because you always got a good input on a lot of stuff. And you might have to counter Flamish over there. He might get too excited on some things.
Okay, I'll try.
So the very first topic, and some of you guys may have heard this on other shows, but I think I wanted to bring it up because I think it's just completely ridiculous. Knowing the type of guy that Phil Spencer is and seeing his past interviews, he's a very good guy, and like he's a gamer that's down to earth. He loves video games, right? Well, because of Digital Foundry's analysis on Valhalla now running worse on the PS5 versus the Series X and whatnot, fanboys, I will say toxic fanboys, and the 1% of Twitter probably turned it into some argument, an accusation, a conspiracy theory, in their secret bunkers in their mom's basement with tinfoil hats and antennas that reach the pyramids, that Phil Spencer somehow, some way, used money to pay Ubisoft to make Valhalla run worse on the PS5. Like it was intentional, according to these conspiracy theorists that are not on Ancient Aliens or anything. Maybe they should get a role in that show. But real quick, my opinion is that I highly doubt that. It's definitely not factual. Phil's a gamer. He plays on everything. It's not like he would want a game to run worse on a competitor's system. Competition is good. Competition makes people try better. And this really comes down to Ubisoft, and they definitely don't want their games running worse on another system as well. I mean, Ubisoft wants their games probably to run equally as possible on all systems because at the end of the day, it's their livelihood. It's their game, it's their title, it's their cash flow, it's their income, and it's their reputation. No company would lose a reputation. Uh, Even Phil Spencer. This is just an impossibility. Did not happen. Would never happen. And I mean, that's my opinion. So, Mav, I want to go to you. What do you think about this, man?
I love a good conspiracy theory, but this one's pretty stupid. Like I get why people would just assume, okay, hey, there's an update, now my game's not performing better, and it's easy to point fingers. But when you actually just look at what happens with a lot of games and the fact that a lot of systems were having issues but beforehand, it makes sense to have differences in the updates that actually kind of maybe are going to change the way a game runs. This has happened for years and years and years. And it could also be due to system-wide updates as well that they have to take into account for changes. So if you have system updates that maybe change the clock speed a little bit to try and optimize the system, you have different adjustments like that. There may be adjustments needed in the game as well. So as far as Assassin's Creed performing worse than it did before, how much worse is it really anyway? Is it something significant enough that you're raising red flags and going to march over to Microsoft and say, hey, you did this to us? No. I mean, guys, come on. It's a video game. They get updated, patched all the time. I can give you another example. Call of Duty had an update, and since then, it's crashing all over the place on all systems, right? Especially Xbox. So it's not something to freak out about and point fingers. I just really think that people need to look at everything and not just an assumption that it's going to fit what their thinking is. And that goes with more than just video games. That goes with a lot of things. If it's easy to place a blame on something you don't like, then that's going to be the direction that people go. But it's not necessarily always the truth, right? The truth usually is, if you take all these little different facts around, you put them all together, you can start to kind of get a puzzle. This is simple, though. It's an update. It's an optimization for the game. Sorry, guys. But in the long run, you're probably also going to see more of this down the line, where maybe one system performs better than another at launch because of some reasons. Some of the games are running better on PlayStation than on Xbox. Over time, that's probably going to shift even more than it already has in this recent updates. So we'll see what happens long term. But it's not Xbox's fault that Ubisoft patched the game and you're dropping a little bit of frames, guys. Come on. I don't know if y'all agree with that or not, but it's just kind of it's ludicrous to me to kind of jump out there and think some crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with you there. This is just one of the dumbest conspiracy theories I've ever heard. Flamish, I know that you're smiling over there. You probably believe in this conspiracy theory, and you're watching Ancient Aliens as we speak.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to contact them through the. What's going on, Flamish? What do you think, man?
So first of all, I think I see some blue aliens on the TV in front of me. Like I see one in the corner, like with a beard and stuff. I think he's masking himself as Clownz, but I'm not sure. So no, what am I thinking? So first of all, it's silly, man. Like it's another goalpost that they're trying to put out there. Like now the games are running worse on the PlayStation 5, and just a little bit. It's not much, right? It's just a little bit of frame rate loss. And it didn't have it before. People are saying, "Oh, now it's the fault of Phil Spencer buying enough Ubisoft to make the game a little bit worse because they have the marketing rights and stuff." It's silly overall. I mean, just when you looked at The Verge, right? He just did an interview, and in the interview said that he wants equality over all gamers and stuff. and he likes everyone to be happy and not fighting one console over another. And this is just a prime example of what he doesn't like, what he despises, what he hates. And it's just silly that people keep drumming the narrative on this. And when you think about it, we knew the console, the Xbox Series X, was more powerful. In the beginning, they already said it from the beginning, most powerful console, right? So it's normal that it runs a little bit better on the Series X. And because it run worst first, it's probably just an update that they needed to fix something, and that now they did it. So now it's fixed. And we know PlayStation is having a lot of issues, so I think maybe that's why they had to do a patch for that as well for PlayStation. But that's already been said on Boom Show as well. Like, you were there, Clownz, so I'm just a little bit repeating what they said as well. But that's honestly my own opinion as well. I just think what's been said, that they say such things, they don't know what they're saying. They don't know what they know about the gaming industry, about the games, about development. It's silly, man. It's silly.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with you on this. I'm putting antennas on here as we speak on the TV just to pick up conspiracy theories. BJ, you have any thoughts on this?
I've got a few, but I don't know if they're related. I just sometimes, the idiocy and the fear and the stupidity and I don't know. We've just got, as humans, we just have this sort of like propensity like to be sort of supremely imbecilic at times, right? And I guess that's
imbecilic. I like that.
that's the nature of the human mind. Is fully on show and display, especially at the Twitter auditorium, right? So I guess question reminds me of something. I had to study American and Russian history at school, if you'd like to know. So, and it reminded me of something of Lenin once said. Yeah, the best way to control the opposition is to lead them. And it's like where you sort of use sort of deception, and governments use it, and religious outlets use it as well, as it's been employed sort of throughout history, right? To sort of make war or gain control of a narrative. So, so it's like kind of a technique or trick used by an individual to sort of deliberately attempt make or create an opposing effort to an existing power base, right, or to obtain control and opposition to one, and sort of to reward or to sort of help one's own efforts. So it's in play to different degrees, right, across the media, governments to impose their will and censorship on the populace, especially when sort of totalitarian for is like 20th century fascism, right, to the sort of modern day. So this also reminds me, funny enough, of an answer. I don't know if he was on that show, Mav, because I kind of feel like I was on a show with you when I answered this, and because we're on so many shows together recently, I don't know what's going on. Oh, might be gaming night. I don't know.
I'm following you everywhere.
Night. So when they asked me, what does the CFO of Xbox, I think it was Tim Stewart or something, means when he says, Bethesda titles will play better or best on Xbox, in the whole midst of keeping the option of Bethesda games multi-platform. I said if I were a developer at Ubisoft, or in this case, say Bethesda, and understood, Todd's vision and the ethos and the principles Bethesda was founded upon. In fact, any developer, I would go as far as saying, and I was asked indirectly or coerced or ordered to develop and ensure a specific version of a game performed sort of marginally poorer or on a competitive on a hardware configuration or platform. That, for me at least, and creative people that I've known in the past, would be sort of contradictory or tantamount to contradiction to everything creativity and artistry stands for. So you're sort of going down a very sort of anti-humanistic, morally bankrupt path, right? You really can't come back from, especially as you said, Clownz and Mav, that if something like this ever came out, right? So it's definitely for me sort of over the top, right, in terms of what people are saying. And I normally watch. I don't watch Digital Foundry as much. I often watch Michael over at NX Gamer, and in his opinion, the difference is like 0.2%. And I simply cannot understand in terms of, unless you've got like it's a technical sort of curiosity, or you're just a fan, and and you just want to know this kind of information just to broaden your horizons, that's okay. But if you're then going to use it, as I was sort of saying to you sort of previously, whoever's, I don't even know where this stuff has originated from, but trying to use it as an expressive means to sort of say, well, I have freedom of speech and expression, and I can say whatever I want. But sometimes the nonsense that comes out is ridiculous, and I just hope that a lot of us are sort of really, really smart to sort of just see it for what it is. And I mean, at the end of the day, if this was true, which it isn't, I couldn't support, or no one would support, right? And I've seen the amount of sheer, frustration, anger, and anxiety, and that misinformation causes. But trying to circumvent a specific game technically and artistically is just really just, as I said, going down a downward spiral. So, does it happen in the industry? Has it ever happened at any given point in time? Not in the 20-odd years that I spent in the industry. I've never seen anything like it. The only thing I've ever seen is when lead platform holders are always given a vantage point if needed. The platform holder, what I mean by that is provides enough sponsorship, i.e. capital motivation, or you can call it lobbying, or of a given title dressed up as an advantage gained or acquired via paying money for sponsorship or for PR marketing rights or bragging rights, if you prefer. Our format is synonymous, right? Sort of with this sort of must-play title, which, as we know, again, it's completely subjective, right, in terms of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But that's what I've really got to say on it.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, it just doesn't sound to me, man. I can't believe that Twitter turned this into a topic, and it's got so many retweets, and some people want to believe this. They just want to believe it to fit their narrative.
It doesn't happen, and it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're listening, over there in Pakistan and India, and you see all this kind of nonsense in America going on Twitter, just know that it's fake. Because I know a lot of you guys listen to our podcast feed over there, so this isn't real. Microsoft and Phil Spencer would never pay for a game to look worse on another console. First of all, reputation matters to Microsoft. They wouldn't do it. Second of all, Phil's a gamer. He plays on everything. He wouldn't do it. And third of all, Ubisoft would not intentionally take any types of money or bribes to make one of their own games compare less on another system. It's just bad for their own reputation.
Another thing, Clownz, is if you were to open that door and do something like that, all you're doing is opening the door for it to be done back to yourself, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's once something like that were to start, there would be no stopping it as far as it happening to you. So why would you want to go and do something that is going to later negatively affect you in some way or another? It doesn't make any sense. It's just idiotic.
Sorry, Mav. I hope that's what you construed from what I was saying, Clownz, right?
Yep. No, I got you, VJ.
Okay, cool.
I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for me, it's even silly I would talk about stuff like this. I mean, come on. Even gets me.
Flamish is like, is this serious? Do people really believe this? And
this is the enjoyment I get out of gaming. People doing dumb shit like this.
I think for me, it's just a sobering thought that you can see where people's mindset is at, during the course of the day. It's quite shocking.
Yeah, people believe crazier conspiracy theories than this, surprisingly. So, it is what it is, and hopefully the people that are trying to spout this out there are mostly tongue-in-cheek and they don't actually believe it. Otherwise, I'd be actually more concerned about them. But are we moving on?
Yeah, we're moving. I'm moving stuff around on the screen. You know what? I'm gonna add.
I like the layout, by the way. Yeah, I like the new layout. It's pretty cool. I see you just put a VCR on top
Yep,
of the TV. That's pretty cool.
and a Sega
Antenna.
Master System just joined the family.
Nice.
Yeah,
Master
yeah.
System. That was my first console that we got that was new. I was born with an Intellivision, and then
Nice.
so we had that in the closet. We would pull it out of the box, plug it in, but that had already existed when I was born, right? So then, but the first system we got was my brother's choice, obviously because he's older than me. Was the Sega Master System, so that was cool.
You guys still have that?
No, I always had to sell everything to get the new stuff. I wasn't. It was a necessity for me to be able to afford games in general. So unfortunately, I could never keep anything growing up.
Man, I feel your pain. I feel your
Yeah,
pain.
I wish I had it all. I wish I did.
Yeah, there's a lot of classics out there that I'm trying to go back and recollect. When I sold my Nintendo Entertainment System for the Nintendo 64, which my mom did not want me to do, and I had every NES game in the library because my dad made sure, growing up, every time release came out for NES, I got it. So I
Wow,
even had
that's
some of
awesome, man.
I had even some of the rare stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So I'm very sad with myself that I did something so stupid. But, life goes on, and
yep.
that brings us right into our next topic, actually. So emulation. I mean, that's a good way to play some old stuff for some people. Uh, and it's kind of crazy, but you guys may know the RetroArch is like pretty much open source. It's on almost every platform at this point, even jailbroken Vitas and all that stuff. So the team over at RetroArch had it working on the VCR Xbox One as a dev kit. And sure enough, it works on the Xbox Series S as well if you turn that into a dev kit, which isn't a bad idea for many people out there. I'm sure a lot of journalists are doing this now. And it plays PS2 games with good performance according to WCCF Tech. And that's kind of surprising. I mean, there's a couple things about this, right? That it gets me excited. Now I want Xbox Series S just to do this, even though I have a RetroPie 4 hooked up to my arcade one up and I built my own kind of on there. But I kind of want just a small, simple little box sitting by my TV that is powerful enough to play PS2 games. And by the time you're done paying for the Series S, you'd probably end up paying for all those retro systems anyway. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, it's open source. Of course, no major company will condone this. And I only suggest that you play licensed, what do I say? Not don't play licensed ROMs. Play copyright free and play open source ROMs made by, homebrew communities. Yeah, that's what I meant on all those retro emulators. I thought this was really cool, guys. I think that this is a neat idea for somebody that maybe ended up with too many Series S's in their house and just have nothing better to do. Uh, you know, Flamish, let me go to you, man, because you play on Retro Renegades and you're starting to love some of that retro stuff. I see it in you. You're kind of wishing you grew up in the time like Mav and I with Intellivision and Sega Master System and
Yeah,
Atari. I
actually,
could,
I do. Yeah.
yeah, I could see that. So, what do you think about this? Is this something that if you had an extra Series S, you would do something like this?
Actually, no class because I have a PC. I can play all the retro games I want on my PC. I can just download an emulator. And now I have my PC downstairs at my couch for the time being until I got a good chair. Then, yeah, I can just play whatever I want on my PC. So I'm not limited to just PlayStation 2 games. I can play all the old retro games. I can play PlayStation 2, GameCube, and much more. So many things. There are even websites I can go to, and I can play all these retro games just on the website. So it's really, really great to do all this stuff. But to do this on a console that's not made for it in the first place, because Xbox is not made for PlayStation games to run it that way. It's really awesome. I think it's a benefit of having that console, and especially because it's only $300. If you can afford a PC and you can buy that and then play retro games on it, man, that's nice. It's really nice.
Graphic guy in the chat already has a question about the Master System on an angle. It looks nice. It's conspiracy theorists from the Sega family. They took it on an angle at the pyramids or something, and it ended up as dropping on the TV at an angle. No, I'm just kidding. I found PNG online where people just share their PNGs and just allow you to use it. So that's what I picked it up from. Jay, I can always hook you up with that site if you want to take a look and see what's around there. But I mean, I hear you, Flamish. Your PC master race now with your emulation. You could probably play like everything on there up to like what is it? You can probably everything up to the Wii U probably on your system with your what is it? You got a 2070 Super?
Yeah, and not only that, Clownz. I've like a year ago. No, when I got my PC in the
Just
beginning.
throw it in. Yeah, I'm listening. Just add into it.
When I got my PC in the beginning, I was playing Breath of the Wild on my PC via emulation, so I could play Switch games on my PC.
I gotcha. No, I don't have to blow in the cartridges, Jay. I can magically probably find one and make it a. You know what? I'm gonna look for one as we talk now and see if I can add it on top. Now you got me curious if I can find one.
If the PS5 had emulation, you'd blow into the controller. That would be recreating that whole thing.
Yeah, that would work nice, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Looking for a Sega Master System game. And
Yeah.
Mav, go ahead and give us your thoughts on this. Like, what do you think?
It's nothing I've ever really done or gotten into because I'm always like I don't want to mess up like the warranty on my system, or you know what I mean, like or do anything that's going to get it like bricked from online. I don't know how that stuff works, so I always kind of stay away from doing things like jailbreaking. But I understand that this is like just is maybe different this time, where it's just putting it in dev mode, right? And they allow it. So, if it's something like that, if I ever want to just get another Series S just to try it, it could be worth it for me because there's a lot of games. But like I said before, I didn't keep any of my systems. I had to sell everything to get what was next. Every time the new system came out, the only way if I could get that system was giving it up, and they use it towards like trading credit, right? Or sell it to get the money towards the new system. And that included all the games that I had for the system, which usually wasn't that much because you back then I rented a lot, right? But it ended up, where you don't keep anything. So, with the digital age as an adult, it became unnecessary. That's one reason I love digital libraries, is because it does just stay with you, right? But it would be awesome for me to get something like that and go back and have access to all these games that I have forgotten about or that I have vague memories of from when I was a kid. When I was growing up, I shared a room with my brother. We had bunk beds, and he was like 6 years older than me, right? But we always played like Tecmo football together, right? We played like Double Dragon, a lot of fun games that it would be cool to go back and kind of like, hey, this. I remember this. I remember what to do here. This was fun. And that's something I've never really done. I've never really been a retro gamer in that way, where I've gone back and relived all those things, but with this method, it might be something that is more of a solution. Like Flamish said, he's always done it on PC. Haven't really ever been a PC gamer either. It's always been on console primarily. So knowing that I could potentially do this and not get in trouble for it or have any ramifications for my system or whatever, it does open that door of possibility for me. to check out a lot of that stuff. And for example, one thing, I had a Sega Master System, like I said. I didn't own an NES. We had one system, right? So, but my friends had the NES. So when I go over there, I'd play like Zelda. I would play like Ninja Turtles. And a lot of games that I enjoyed playing at their house, but I didn't get to play at mine. So it would be cool to go back and play a lot of those old school NES games. SNES, I had one of those, so I'm pretty good there. But how far does the emulation go up? Does it go? I understand you said PS1, PS2 type games. Does it go like into PS3, or is that possible or no? Does anybody know?
Yeah, it is. It is possible on the Xbox Series S. I don't think PS3 is possible, but like let's say on Flamish's computer over there, he could probably
Right.
play PS3. He could probably play the OG Xbox. He could probably play a little bit of some of the 360 library.
Yeah.
They had emulators that worked on some things. Dolphin, which is like GameCube,
Yeah.
Wii U. Um,
How about Dreamcast?
Oof,
Yep.
Dreamcast was an amazing system.
That would work on Flamish's thing. Yep.
Yeah, that would be
Wii
awesome. I would love that.
I even play Wii games. Back in the
Yeah.
day, Mario Galaxy, the game that you now have to buy for $60 in the collection, right? In Switch, you can actually play it on your PC for free. I mean, okay, I bought it on the Switch because it's easy to take with you. But still, if you're just home and you want to game everything on just one system, the PC is the ultimate system for it. I'm not saying that the Xbox is not good, but for people that don't have a PC, an Xbox is really great thing to have, and then use as well on instead of the PC, right? To play emulation games through this dev thing that Clownz was talking about. I don't know the specifics of it completely. Does it actually like if your system is in a dev kit, basically, does it do certain things that you cannot do anymore? Because you said something last time that you cannot earn achievements anymore, right, Clownz?
Yeah. So if you put your system in dev mode, you can't earn achievements, and do certain things. So it's like it's a catch-22, right? I mean, you can always switch back to regular mode, but every time you do, it like swaps the format. So I believe it
You'd probably lose
actually.
everything, right?
Yeah, I believe you actually do lose everything. Yeah.
I would think with this, you would need to own a console that you have specifically for that. You know what I mean? And to have in dev mode and tinker around with all that stuff, as opposed to switching your main console back and forth or whatever. You know what I mean? Owning a second console for that, maybe in the plans in the future. I don't know what you have to do to switch it. I don't know if it's just in the settings or if you got to pay a fee or whatever. But with that possibility, it's really interesting to me. PC emulators and stuff I've tried before. They confuse me, like having to download a program and then you got to do like ROMs and so I don't really get it, right? So having it like implemented in just like a system is probably more up my alley.
I need to go for a minute. I'll be back after. Okay, sorry.
Yep,
that's fine. Well, everybody's box got switched around for Flamish, but that's okay. We got half of VJ. We got my avatar there. And we got Mav below me now. Like, it looks like a bigger close-up of you, Mav. So
sweet.
You're rocking the camera. Hey, what's up, other clowns in the top right there, buddy? So, VJ, what do you think about this, man?
I'm not really prepared today, but I'll just shoot from the hip if you don't mind. Something that popped in my mind: the reason why the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 sold so devastatingly well is because they were incredibly popular in South America, Asia Pacific, which sort of encompasses Central and South Asia, Northeastern Asia, and Southeastern Asia. and then Southern Europe as well back in the day, Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa. These regions, or these global regions at the time, were not as economically sort of robust as they are today, as we've come to know them today, or anywhere near their peak. There was a lot of sort of poverty and middle class families who don't have readily funds available and making sort of trying to make ends meet, I guess, and that was far more important from the frivolity of gaming as a hobby or a pastime, let alone a career. I remember the gaming industry back then in the 90s and early thousands was looked upon, or well, I'd say frowned upon actually, as geeky and something socially awkward, and you know, special people, you know, would just embrace that specific industry, and people thought, oh, it's just going to be a passing fad or a fashion of a kind. Parents would despair, right, and thought you were sort of throwing your life away if you sort of piped up and announced that you were going to sort of pursue a career in the video games industry as an artist. But back to your question, if you could sort of back then cobble enough sort of pfennigs together, you could purchase a system and quite easily purchase sort of counterfeit software in those regions, if not every game that was available for just mere sort of low single digit US dollars. During the 90s in Hong Kong and places like that, copies of PlayStation games, which were about to be released officially on a Saturday, that's what the release dates were back then, in that region, for $40 or something, were available for $5 to $10 2 to 3 days prior to release, and upon release, you know, they dropped down to $3 to $5 a unit. What you can surmise, I suppose, is that, again, perhaps sort of controlled opposition in play here, that if Microsoft or Xbox sort of continue to allow this sort of downloading of an emulator, or however it works, because I'm not very technical of this software, or however it works, so that generations of, even more generations of backwards compatibility is kind of a given, you know, the new Xbox Series, which is quite funny really. While, you know, it will give it it'll give the designation a whole new meaning, I guess. And perhaps even someone can work out how to sort of get the Xbox Velocity architecture to enhance all past PlayStation games. Wouldn't that put the cat amongst the pigeons? I don't know if I'm going off track here, so do stop me, just cut me off. I do actually wish Dreadpool was here today to explain this topic, or just take what I'm sort of saying and taking it forward, because I'm pretty becoming aware that I'm poorly representing emulation software and tech right now. Almost to the point of unease, awkwardness, or sort of embarrassing myself. But anyway, just to sort of wrap up my point, one other thing, if indeed sort of this reported story or whatever it is was to gain some traction and become more of a common or prevalent sort of ongoing theme and interest to the hardcore like us, which I believe is a huge mass in itself. Obviously, it's not the huge, you know, the all-encompassing mass market, but it's a significant mass as it stands. Then how long before Sony interject? And it takes my mind back to something. I don't know if you remember when Nintendo games, especially Mario, was sort of being recreated in Dreams. And it was only sort of like a very few sort of short news bulletin that was here and there. And it was sort of like asking Sony to sort of, the consumers that are creating Mario and this other content, you know, please stop them from sharing. And Sony stopped it immediately, right? I mean, obviously there's a distinction between the two, since content is not being created and shared. It's just enabling individuals to be able to exploit a loop or a gap or exploitation of a software loop, or you know, and being able to apply this app to their system. And as Mav said, you know, whether or not it infringes on your warranty, whether it's tracked, or if it's just going to allow to continue, is probably just something to keep an eye on. And who knows, we may be discussing it at some point in the future. But that's just my thoughts on it, Clownz. So I hope that was helpful.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. You know, generations, as you said, is a funny term for this. That is it allowed? Yes and no. It's allowed because it's open source, right? And in dev mode, you're allowed to develop things on there. So it's allowed in that aspect. And RetroArch does not use any actual core copyrighted code in their software. It's all open source. You can examine it on GitHub, I believe, and all that. They emulated it based on the chipset. So in that fact, it's perfectly legal to run RetroArch. What's not legal on a technicality is running licensed ROMs. So I can't tell you guys to go out and run licensed ROMs because that's technically wrong, right? But there are plenty of open source and homebrew dev ROMs that are a lot of fun that mimic stuff like Space Invaders or that Astro Rock game. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was like that Atari one.
Astro Smash.
Yep, Astro Smash, Brick Breaker. There's a lot of stuff that mimics those, so those are fun to play. And then, of course, if you went into your own rabbit hole and found stuff, that's all on you. So yeah, that's all on you guys. But
I'm just a bit disturbed, Clownz, that I've spoken on 2 topics and I've earned 0 stars this week, and I'm not sure what's going on. Whether I'm just underperforming below par, or you just forgot.
no, we gotta upgrade the stars, VJ, because you're doing really good. I think we're gonna have to go with meteor showers now at this point. You've definitely upgraded your what do you call that? Your little recognition. It's no more just little gold stars. It's like meteor showers that should happen and galactic showers. So you're doing great, VJ. Trust me. Thumbs up, buddy.
Thank you.
So
I have an idea for you, Clownz, for
Yeah.
VJ. Just have a little animation on the screen that you can trigger each time he gets a gold star. And then you can even have a little counter in the bottom right-hand corner or something where you keep adding to it.
That's actually not a bad idea. I like
But-
that idea.
You can also take them away. So be careful, VJ.
That's
Conspiracy.
actually a great idea. And Flamish, if you ever come back, the screen will fix itself. Otherwise, give us a heads up because double clowns up here and the zoom in on Mav's face is kind
It
of
looks
weird.
good, man. It works right now. It's fine.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Dreadpool gave you 10,000 media showers, VJ.
Dreadpool.
So-
Dreadpool said I was a fraud.
Did he?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to have him back on Xbox Ultimate anymore.
Oh man, Dreadpool, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're not working too hard tonight, man. So VGAs are coming up in Mav. I mean, this is something that you remind me of actually on your show because I completely forgot about it because I don't like Jeff Keighley that much. I forgot. So I mean, we all have expectations of the VGAs, I think, and what we want to see on there, and if Xbox is going to show anything. And I'm not going to say anything yet because I'm going to let Mav say his piece on Four Guys with Quarters and let VJ say, what he thinks Xbox might show, and what other prediction you guys might have on who wins, like some of the categories. And I think most of these guys will probably say Sony, PlayStation, but that's okay. I mean, so Mav, what do you think we might see over at the VGAs?
Well, I don't think it's, going to be as heavy PlayStation as a lot of people think. Obviously, we're going to see some stuff, right? And it's going to be, we're going to see maybe God of War, maybe Horizon. Who knows what's all going to be there? Maybe a new game reveal. The VGAs has kind of increased in stage of scope, if that's the right way of putting it. Each year, it seems like, where there's bigger announcements, bigger games being there. We've seen the Elden Ring get announced there. We saw the freaking Xbox was revealed there last year, right? And so Hellblade 2 was revealed there. They're getting bigger things. And in a year without E3, and I said this on the podcast on Friday, in a year without E3, it seems like the stage might even be bigger this year for the VGAs. We haven't had any multi-platform large show that's for all consoles, for all the fans, that is available to watch and have an expectation of big news dropping. You could say maybe Tokyo Game Showcase, but they already said ahead of time there wasn't going to be anything there. I think there's going to definitely be something there from Xbox, from PlayStation. I wouldn't even be surprised if Nintendo has something pop up at the show. So we'll see exactly what it's going to be there. But I think whatever it is going to be big, because I think that Xbox knows that the VGAs worked for them last year. I think PlayStation knows that it's a big stage, and they're all going to be looking for that opportunity to show something to a wider audience, right? That's going to reach millions of people all at once, and you're going to be able to have the celebration of gaming for all platform owners this year, and that's going to be a good thing. Because, like I said, especially without E3, we really missed having E3. It was kind of like everything was separated by each platform holder's own announcements, their own shows, their own things. This is a together thing, right? We're gonna see like maybe God of War Horizon. I'm hoping, right? Just hoping we might see a little tease of Halo. They did say that they're not going to be there or whatever. I know, but maybe holding out hope. Okay. But there's also Compulsion's game that needs to be announced. There is Hellblade 2 gameplay that could have possibly been shown at the Xbox Game Showcase that supposedly was held back from that show, and instead they showed the whole Iceland video thing and instead of the gameplay. We also have the Initiatives game that I believe is ready to be shown and ready to be seen, and they're waiting for the right time to reveal that game. And there's been rumors on that for a while now, and that was another thing that was rumored to be at the Xbox Game Showcase that was not shown at that time. We also could potentially be seeing more stuff from some of these PlayStation games that maybe were delayed into 2021 or because of COVID or for whatever other reasons. We could see Ghostwire Tokyo. We could see maybe something else from Deathloop. There's a lot, and then you go into, hey, what maybe Starfield, right? It would be a good time. If I'm going back right and thinking about this, I think the first time they ever showed Skyrim and had that whole Dragonborn thing was at a VGA's type event. It was either the VGAs or back then the Spike Video Game Awards. I don't remember, but I remember something like that. So, Bethesda currently now is still its own entity and can market things how they choose, right? So maybe that would be an option. There's lots of possibilities to show with Xbox, especially with the amount of studios that they have, with the amount of stuff that they're going to be having in the pipeline. For them not to have something at the VGAs would be a travesty. Same goes for PlayStation. I think they're going to have a couple of things to show us that are going to be like, wow, we're going to say, holy crap, this is really cool. What I want to really see is something new from Nintendo to get me excited as well, because, my Switch has kind of been collecting dust, for a little while. I want to see the Metroid game. What if we got the Switch 4K announcement at the VGAs, right? That's a big stage. They didn't have an E3 that could do something like that there. Nintendo's probably not like that. They'll probably do something like that at a Nintendo Direct. But I think this VGA is more than any time before I'm excited about to watch, actually, just because we didn't have E3, right? So I know I'm rambling about it, but I am pretty excited to finally have this one singular event where we know that there's going to be.
Very well. Nicely put there, Mav. I think that a lot of good input there and a lot of good thoughts on that one. Flamish, I always say that you should replace Jeff Keighley. I think you'd be more entertaining than that guy. So,
yeah.
What do you think we might see at the Video Game Awards?
Do you know what I'm thinking the most with the Video Game Awards? Not the Xbox, not PlayStation, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 at the moment. That's a game I'm really, really want to see. We haven't heard so many things about it except for the one trailer that we saw, but that's in development, right? For PlayStation and Xbox, yeah, new games, of course. I mean, I want Phil to keep his promises. He said he's going to guarantee us that the games will be coming. So I still want to see some new games, maybe some new gameplay from other games that we have seen trails from. And then for other stuff, yeah, PlayStation as well. Maybe some gameplay from that Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo, a little bit more gameplay, or yeah, maybe some new game that they have not announced yet. I'm just excited for new games overall. I just want to play more new games, Clownz.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. You definitely do want to play more new games. Let me tell you something about Flamish, guys, real quick. So, in a matter of 1 month, we have like 4 or 5 new games already. And he still wants more new games to play. We got AC Valhalla, we got Watch Dogs, we got Destroy All Humans, we got Immortals Phoenix Rising. And he's already ready to pre-order Cyberpunk. I just finished Watch Dogs Legion. I haven't even started any of the other stuff yet, so he just wants games. More and more and more. He loves video games. Gotta give it to him.
Yeah, always, Clownz. I want nothing more than just play the newest games available, except if they're not ready with the save bugs and the patches and stuff. Yeah, so like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion, I'm still waiting on those patches for the save bugs and having the good performance and stuff. I don't know about Valhalla if it's fixed yet. If someone can confirm, maybe in chat or from the panel. But yeah, Watch Dogs Legion, I played a little bit, but I'm afraid to lose my save, Clownz. I don't want to lose my save. Just saying.
Yeah, I lost my save on the new save I started, on the new game I started.
Jeez, man.
So I can't get my pace up
rough.
achievement. I'm 15 points short of 1,000 achievements on the game because that is broken. It's not tracking my pace up location achievements, so I'm very upset about that.
And the last thing I want to say about Watch Dogs Legion, I was an hour searching for one guy, a video game developer, because it's an achievement in the game to hire someone like that. So I got it after an hour of searching. I was just walking around scanning everybody that I saw, and then I found it. So I recruited and I didn't get the achievement. Yeah, that makes me just quit the game altogether. Just no, I'm gonna wait till it's all patched so I get this nice achievement pop up. No, I don't like that, Clownz. So.
Are you sure you got a video game developer, not like a game designer or a game
No, it says
developer?
video game developer.
Yeah, that's messed up because it does take a little work to find one of those guys.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. And now your achievement's probably glitched forever now, just like my paste up achievement. VJ, do you have any thoughts on what you expect or might expect to see at the VGAs?
I'm not a big fan of the VGAs, and I'm not a huge fan of your best friend, Jeff Keighley.
Oh no, that's
I won't go
Flamish's
into all of that.
friend.
I won't go into that, and I think Mav sort of pretty much encapsulated the whole event during his speech. So I think for me, just as a short sort of point, it's a good time to sort of celebrate the creativity and imagination on display, and just ignore all the babble in between. I don't know. We should have a prize probably if anyone can guess how many times world premiere will be said or predicted to be said throughout the
premiere.
show. Yeah, I know. Maybe there should be a prize for that. I do hope we get to observe, as Mav was saying, a glimpse of the future Clownz, either from any one of the many first-party studios across the 3 platform holders, second or third-party publishers and developers. I mean, Game Awards, and I think I said this on Boom Show and previously on Green Pass Gaming, for me at least, the 2019 event for last year was pretty much synonymous with the announcement of the Series X hardware. And what that did, it allowed Xbox to hold the narrative over the Christmas period and well into March and even into April, when news was pretty scarce, right, at the time, until Microsoft's second showing. And I think that's really important. And it would be interesting if Microsoft, Xbox, and Phil could in fact repeat the trick and own the show this time around as well. I think it would be more difficult, but 2 years on the trot would be some achievement and would show that Microsoft is making progress. I mean, I'll openly admit, I castigate Microsoft when they need it, and it's more often than not at the moment. But the generation's only just started, and there's a long way to go. And all three companies have a lot of work to do. I think I'm with Flamish on the fact that Breath of the Wild is a game that I completed and I really enjoyed. I didn't buy the DLC. I just thought the main game was great, and I would have happily have paid $100 at retail for it, just in terms of the sheer amount of joy and entertainment it provided me in terms of hours. But I don't think the hours are that important, really, to be honest with you, in the whole scheme of things. It's just a case of how well does a game grab and engage your imagination, which I think is fundamental, whether it's for 2 hours, something like Edith Finch, or like I said, Dragon Quest even, for 200 odd hours. So yeah, it's coming up to its 4th year anniversary, and I'm with Flamish that I'd like to see something. But I expect Nintendo and Sony are very Japanese style companies, very conservative. Both may want to announce something strong to counter Xbox. Perhaps they won't, since both seem to have moved away over the months, or if not years. Sorry, I lose track of time in terms of moving away and doing their own sort of contriving their sort of own digital sort of media events on YouTube and Twitch and so on and so forth over the last couple of years or so. It's definitely going to be interesting. And and to be quite honest with you, Clownz, I think I'm with you as well, because I've got like 40 odd games downloaded from Game Pass at the moment, which I want to try, if not finish. I finished Ori just before we came on to the show today, and then obviously I'm going to go to something a bit more less taxing. I thought it'd be quite straightforward, since I used to play a lot of Bomb Jack in the arcades when I was younger. I don't seem to have the same sort of reflexes as I used to, but I did enjoy it very, very much so. But whatever they show, I'm sure we'll come away with something that excites each and every one of us. And I hope it's really good, because I think it would really provide some good topics, and for the following Four Guys with Quarter show, for the following, I think, 4 days after the show. But yeah, so and if we are covering the event itself on Four Guys with Quarters, that would be something at least I'll be looking forward to. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Yep. And VJ, guess what? I don't know if you're watching the stream, but I give you a gold star, buddy.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep. So my prediction on the VGAs, I really think, I do think that we're going to see something from Xbox. I think, for Jeff Keighley to be on a call, Phil Spencer and Gabe from Steam, I would like to see some sort of partnership between Xbox and Steam, whether it is a complete buyout or just a partnership on Steam working on Xbox at some point in the future, which would be amazing on the Series X, as a matter of fact. It would just blow my mind if they came up with something like that to work together. Something I've always wanted them to do. And I think that we are going to see some Hellblade 2. It wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo is ready to show a little bit of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Flamish. I think you could be onto something with that. It's possible we might see another iteration of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze 1.A. They might add a new character. I'm just being sarcastic there, Flamish, because they made that game so many times already. But I did hear that they were, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard rumors they were working on another Mario Kart as well. That the new one was supposed to come out, and that's another possibility. Maybe we see something of the Switch 2 or a new iteration of the Switch, the upscaled specs. That's been rumored for a long time. I think from Sony, I don't even know what they might showcase. Because it's pretty much, well, maybe we'll probably see some more Ratchet and Clank. I mean, that's coming out this year, right?
No, yeah.
2021?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. But they also have a couple other games that were rumored, like, hey, maybe we'll see Gran Turismo.
Yeah, that's possible.
That would be cool.
That's a good idea. Yeah, about Ratchet and Clank, like that game is gonna come out like 6 months after launch, probably. They said launch window. We don't know what launch window means. We're still waiting on that. Also, guys, I need to go. I need to go sleepy because I need to work at 5:30 in the morning, and I have like 5 hours and a half before I need to start working. So, I'll see you all next time probably. Yeah, Clowns, are you gonna do my outro later? Probably.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll do it later for you, man.
okay. Don't
Get
forget
ready.
retro.
Get ready for Mav's close up. Mav's close up's coming up.
Take care, Flamish.
See you guys.
Bye, Flamish.
See you, chat. Till next time in my couch from now on. So bye.
Bye, Flamish.
I think I might fly over to Belgium and lie down next to him.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Belgium is the place to be if you want to go to sleep right now. I think it's that time over there.
Yeah, it's late.
Well, I mean, Flamish wasn't here for this, but Call of Duty boosts their weapon XP following players' complaints. This is like, I'm really surprised about this, to be honest with you guys, because it seems like Call of Duty never listens to their player base at all, whatsoever. Just never pay attention. And they got enough feedback that they want to go ahead and boost the weapon XP. I'm very shocked. I'm very surprised. I thought maybe they'd make you buy some microtransactions to boost the weapon XP at this point. But Mav, I know you play Call of Duty as well. What do you think about this? I mean, finally they're listening to people.
Yeah, it's cool that they listen, to feedback and make changes based on that. I mean, the more of that in video games in general, especially with these online games, also is good. Personally, with the weapon XP thing, I never really even pay attention to it myself. Really, I mean, I play and then I end up unlocking stuff. I don't even really look and notice how much experience I get, at the end of a game. Or it seems like the weapons have been leveling up pretty fast for me anyway. So it hasn't really been a problem. But that being said, just in the general sense, if there's stuff where people notice a difference and they're upset about something and the voices are heard and they can make a small adjustment like that, then that's cool to me. Sometimes companies can tend to listen too much and then drastically make adjustments, but something like this is simple and easy to do for them. It seems, they do like double XP weekends and stuff all the time anyway. So yeah, I don't really know what the issue was with it. I guess some people said that they noticed in some modes that they weren't getting as much XP as they're supposed to. So this would just be kind of like a makeup, right? Like, hey, okay, we screwed up with that. Here's a chance to get extra, right? So, we'll see. My biggest feedback for them right now is stop the game from crashing and freezing. So that's my feedback, and we'll see if they listen to that. I don't really care about the XP, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the result of their greediness as well, because of the way they made the two different versions. And like,
Yeah.
I think that the system doesn't recognize the right version for some people. I think it's just a whole bad thing that they did with that Call of Duty and the cross-gen bundles and the kind of upgrade stuff. It was just like, I mean, it's a hassle because when we're playing with Wilmy and stuff, a lot of times Dreadpool gets kicked out of the lobby or his game freezes, and he made sure he downloaded the right one. He's got the XS version, and he's still having issues like that. I mean,
Yeah, it started happening for me, and I just stopped playing it for now until they're fixed because it's frustrating. I was playing the campaign, everything's going good. I was streaming it, it just locked up. I had to exit out of the game entirely, launch it again, try it again, got into a different part of the same level, ended up happening again. Then that time the Xbox crashed. So then I went back into multiplayer and played. And then the first multiplayer match I was in, everything's going great. I was doing really good. The stream was going good. And then all of a sudden, this weird error popped up on the screen. and it was like the game wasn't running properly. Something was wrong with the game, and you could kind of feel it when you're playing. It's like it was not performing the way it's supposed to, kind of jittery and clanky, and it's something that's triggering that to start. And once it starts, I think it's hard for it to stop. So they need to fix that, whatever it is. I played the game for about a week after it came out without any issues, and there was an update, and all of a sudden, all these issues, right? So hopefully they get it fixed, because right now it's a horrible experience. But hey, at least they're giving us some weapon XP. So I don't know, man.
Unfortunately, I can't really comment on this topic since I don't play the game, so it'd be unfair for me to give any sort of opinion. So, yeah, back over to you, Clownz. Sorry, don't take the star away though.
No, don't worry. Hold on.
What about you, Flamish? What do you think? Well, I think.
Nice. Yeah, Flamish. Sorry you're not here to comment, but I'm actually giving VJ another gold star because I think that him being honest was fair, and that's gold star worthy, VJ.
Nice. See, it didn't even take you long to implement it, Clownz.
Yep. Number 2 gold stars for VJ. VJ, I'm gonna find a media shower also at the end of the episode until you get a media shower and fallen stars and stuff.
Do better on the next topic.
Now you're gonna make him look like a general though, because he's got like the 2-tone like emblem there. You're putting stars all around it. It's kind of like a badge of honor.
It reminds me of that general in Superman 2 when he goes, when General rips his stripes off, and the general goes, "I only answer to the president." God. Okay, anyway, let's move on.
So, there's, some PlayStation gamers out there being banned due to sharing the PS Plus collection. Like, they thought Sony wouldn't be able to see this coming, or a game company see you share your collection. Some people were actually selling it for as little as $8 to other people. And thousands of PSN accounts have been banned, according to community discussions, concentrated especially in Hong Kong, where I guess it's more common for them to like sell or share their PS Plus collection games. Is this worthy of a ban? I don't know. I mean, you are technically kind of like stealing intellectual property in a sense and reselling it in some cases for as little as $8. In other cases, if you are technically game sharing with your friend and this happens to you or your friend, I feel bad. I don't think it should happen in that case, but I don't think Sony really cares. Because they know that if you like Sony, you're gonna go out and buy another PlayStation, create a new account, and do it all over again anyway. You probably just sell your banned PlayStation to somebody else, or just create a new account on that PlayStation if it's not banned itself. And you guys got to think about these things, that companies are allowed to do what they want on their platforms. So, Mav, I'm gonna go to you on this one. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this?
I don't know how are they doing it exactly, because that could be potentially where the issue lies, as opposed to just is it like selling accounts? Is that how they're doing it?
It's a mix of things, right? So some people are like selling access to their account, or
Right.
or logging somebody else's account into their console and then logging back into their account and then sharing the games on the console, and then it adds to their PS Plus collection kind of thing. So
Kind of like game sharing on Xbox, I guess.
yeah, but exploiting it, and the fact that some of them are actually like selling the access.
Yeah. Well, I think
So
it's a slippery slope, right? I mean, so it opens up, I think, more avenues potentially for things like this to happen. But at the same time, I don't know what the legal and account terms are from Sony as far as selling an account and what their sharing terms are. So if they're going against the terms of use and if they're selling their account and it's not allowed, then I would say, they're just going by the book and banning the accounts. There are a lot of shady things that go on with some things like that. They also, the PS Plus collection is a benefit for being a PlayStation Plus member, right? So you log in on the PS5 and you get all these games right away, is what I'm assuming is how it works, because I don't have my PlayStation 5 yet. So to have all that given to you by Sony and then to go around and sell your account would be basically Sony giving something just for people to sell. You know what I mean? For free. Things don't usually work that way. So I think there's got to be some kind of restriction on it. Maybe most people don't agree. I don't know, but it seems to me that, hey, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, you get all those games if you're playing on PlayStation 5 anyway. So why don't the people just do that instead? You know what I mean? So I don't understand even the need for it. So just sign up for PS Plus and you get the PS Plus collection, right? Don't buy it personally. I don't think, don't buy it from some shady dealer, online, or some website, especially if you're going to have to give people potentially password information or login information and all that kind of stuff, But I even had an account stolen from me once a long time ago, right? So
Wasn't by a
people sometimes people steal accounts to sell them and stuff too as well. So just be careful.
It wasn't by a baby, was it?
No, it wasn't by a baby. And it's actually on Xbox 360. So I went to log in one day and I couldn't log in. And I had accumulated a lot of credit at the time. I think gift cards or whatever. And somebody had just spent it all on random games on my account. I was able to get my account back. It took about 4 or 5 days through Microsoft help on the phone. But I was able to get my account back, and then I got a refund on my credit and everything. And I also got access to all the games they bought. They never took those away, which was interesting. But yeah, but the reason that they had stole it was to sell the account. I found that there's actually websites that they do that. So be careful, because I had even found my account on there that had it had my achievement points listed. Here's an account for sale for this amount with this amount of achievement points and stuff, right? So you don't know where these accounts are coming from, guys. So just be careful.
That's just a terrible thing in general for people to steal accounts and sell them like that. That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Just go create an account and earn achievements yourself, people.
Well, I don't understand this whole thing with the PS Plus collection thing, because all you got to do is have a PS Plus account, right, to get it on PS5. Am I mistaken on that?
Well, for me to add it to my account, right, I had to log in, go to the PS Plus collection, and then the games that I did not already own from the PS Plus collection, like let's say like Days Gone, I didn't own digitally yet. I had to click on the game, add it to cart, and then it takes you through like a PS Plus buy at $0, and then it adds
Right.
it to your account. So you have to like add them to your account that way.
Right, but all you have to do to get access to them for free is be a PS Plus member.
Yep.
Which is $9.99 a month, right?
Yeah. I mean, technically,
So,
yeah. Just
it's a good value. Just do it that way.
yeah.
I don't
Just pay
know.
the $10 and then get them, and then have it to your PS Plus account, and then renew your subscription if you ever want to play them. I mean,
It's I don't know. It just that seemed the way it was designed to work. I'm sorry if anybody did this and is upset that I'm saying this. But why they're giving you something for free? Don't complain when you try and cheat the system and they ban your system because you didn't want to get that extra bonus for. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So, upon reading the article a little bit more while you were talking, most of the accounts, according to a Twitter user, are going to be banned or unplayable for 2 months through Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and New Year's. Some PS5 consoles will get banned. Gamers are calling it the Sony SIE Thanksgiving Day Massacre, which is kind of funny.
Okay.
Go ahead, BJ. Go ahead and chime in on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I had a quick look at the article, Clownz, and you can see the situation has arisen in Hong Kong, right? Where news of this kind is not something unique or fresh to occur, especially in that region. Just going back to the 90s and 2000s, I was talking about earlier. Right now, it's a really difficult sort of place to live at the moment. I told you I wasn't really prepared, so if you've ever wanted to see me shoot from the hip, today's the day. The pinnacle of Hong Kong used to be the pinnacle of democracy, industry, and commerce, and at one point it was under British rule, and now it's sort of subjugated, quashed, conquered, and now under communist control. Your common and human rights have been sort of totally rescinded, and now you're at the all the people of Hong Kong now are under the mercy of the state, as long as you do as you're told, I guess, or you'll be sort of quickly taken to China in prison and tortured, and no one will effectively know what's become of you or your fate. And you only have to look at the contrast over in Poland, right, where beloved CDPR, right, and their new game is coming up from, and they've been thriving since being delivered from communism in the 90s, and the people of Hong Kong, since being handed back to China in, I think it was 1997. Has been waiting. Everybody over there, the ones that could afford to leave, have immigrated over to Australia or Canada or wherever they could go, or even England, with their British they're not full British passports, but they're allowed entry into the United Kingdom, since it was once under British colonial rule. So, and a lot of people there have been sort of waiting for this day to befall them, and eventually. And even though I think China actually agreed at the time that they would change nothing for 50 years, and here we are 23 years in, and it's all changed. My point is actually just to get that out there, and also to talk about a little bit about Game Informer, who I believe is the link that reported or covered this story. And they say a couple of things, and I hope I haven't got this wrong. And as I say, I'm always happy to be sort of humbled in front of facts that that are laid out in front of me by my panel or the chat. Since Game Informer should know better, in my opinion. And it just shows me that you don't have to be intelligent these days to be a journalist or a newspaper reporter. You just need to be able to regurgitate the news. And you can indeed see, and I'll just use that word that Mav likes, the imbeciles or worse still at work. I prefer to call them a twonk or a pranny, but I think only the British members of the chat might understand what I'm talking about. Regarding the PlayStation Plus not being available to users, as it said, right, or who, as I understand, suspended, not banned, and there is a distinction over these two things. If you want to use banned in this report, you must, in my opinion, elicit the use of the word temporarily, right? Because ban is almost sounding permanent. So, and that must words if you want, as I said, if you want to use the word banned, it should say temporarily banned. If you don't want to use suspended, if it doesn't get you the clicks, and that would be more accurately reporting the issue or the news at hand, in my opinion. So that's one of the things I want to say. And since the account state, especially since the account or the person who's ever tweeted this, or if it is a tweet, the sort of the issue obviously is concentrated in Hong Kong. And what I would say, please don't use the Chinese Thanksgiving or Christmas to rile up sympathy, anger, animosity in readers for suspended players against Sony, because no one in Hong Kong celebrates these holidays. Christmas is observed and celebrated, but not in the traditional Western sense. And I know this because I've lived there for 5 years. And Chinese New Year will occur on February the 12th, 2021, and is far more historically, traditionally, and generationally and festively significant and consequential, in my opinion, anyway, in Hong Kong, and for the China and for Chinese people everywhere, in fact. So and just coming back to Sony and this issue, if it is indeed an issue, there is obviously a loophole in the system that Sony has to deal with. Someone somewhere, people over the globe or whatever, as we know, right? Even we were just talking about the homebrew system, with the software being allowed to emulate games on your Xbox. You know that smart people somewhere that with not much to do are going to try to exploit that to the maximum, just out of curiosity. So again, someone's found a loophole. They've taken the opportunity, the time, and also their curiosity to make the most, to take the optimum. How can I put it? I don't want to really use the word abuse, but they have, right, and exploit the trust provided and offered to them through the subscription service, if indeed they're paying for it. But so I guess Sony, at the end of the day, they have to do what they have to do because fundamentally they are a corporation and they have to act as one, and all eyes are on them, in case of these sorts of breaches. Because if you allow one to occur going unnoticed, then they have to set the bar, right, in terms of where they won't act, and I think indeed they have to, regardless. So that's all I have to say on it, anyway, Clownz. So I hope that was useful.
Yeah, I was just reading the article too, VJ, and it says it's very vague. It doesn't say exactly what loophole they found, right? It says
I don't know.
Thousands,
yeah.
Thousands of them have found a loophole and they're being banned. So what is the loophole? How did they manage to accomplish it? Right? If it was that big of an easy thing to do, then it would not be just as isolated as it is, as it would be more as a wider scale thing. You know what I mean? So I think
to me that these are unproven facts, right? We really don't know the fact. But my issue is the way that it's worded and the way Game Informer has reported it, and it really bothers me. I've explained why, but that's I guess my key takeaway from this sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so. I see in the chat. Yeah, I agree. Sony should make those games available on PS4, but they didn't. Right. So whether they should have done that or not, I'm a complete agreement on that. Like, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, I don't think you should get an extra benefit just by playing PS5 because your monthly service is the same and it's the same games. Why not give them to the PS4 players? But to cheat the system to get something that they didn't give you is not necessarily the right answer in that, because that also opens up avenues of doing other things and who knows what. So while I'm in agreement with that, I don't think that necessarily cheating the system or doing different things to accomplish it yourself would necessarily be the answer.
No, Mav, and just to sort of tack onto your point, I never paid more than $45 a year to extend my PlayStation Plus account every year.
Yeah,
there's always a sale on twice a year. I never pay the $10. If you just want to access something for that month for specific game, which is fine, right? You pay for the $10, you play the games for a month, and then those specific games, the Bloodborne, Modern Warfare 2, you've played it, you've had your fill, you've moved on. And I kind of have to agree that I can see why Sony have done it. People migrating over to PS5. Hey, by the way, you get all the PS4 library, but at the same time, I've probably bought all those games for PS5. But what I will say, which I was a little bit concerned about, and I know it's not a huge game, but I know it's Clownz' game of the year, and he's very upset it's not in the Game Awards, is that as a PS4 owner that can't access a PS5, you are allowed to claim bug snacks into your account while you're subscribed. So until you're able to get a hold of a PS5,
Well, VJ, I gave you another gold star, so you're racking them up there, buddy. Now you're a
3-star general.
Yep, 3-star general.
Hopefully, I'll get a cup of tea now.
So, I knew about this for a while, right? Universal Studios had even announced, even in Orlando, that they were working on a Super Mario theme park. So Japan is getting ready to open their Super Mario World theme park in February, which looks to me to be really cool. I sent you guys 2 articles on it, some pictures, and then the Japanese advertisement, which I don't understand, but it makes it look more fun and exciting. I just think it's really cool. I think we're gonna, in my opinion, this would definitely get me to go to a theme park. And for me, it would make me relive my childhood in little ways, especially with Super Mario Kart. Like I think that's just fantastic. It's very exciting that they did this kind of partnership. And honestly, I think it's just as much as we're gonna see young people want to go. I think we're gonna see guys in their 40s and 50s wanting to go because it brings back that old
Yeah.
school Nintendo nostalgia, right? Like Bowser's there hanging out, you know, the way that we imagine the Super Mario characters are there hanging out, just like from the, Nintendo Entertainment System, which made its way on top of the TV, by the way, if anybody noticed, it landed there from conspiracy theorists as well. So, man, what do you think about this? Would this get you to go to, even like, let's say it opens in Universal Orlando or something, right? Would this get you to go to the theme park?
I would have to go there. If one opened in the US and it's a video game themed theme park, it would be right along one of our first vacation destinations. Like where I'm in a family of gamers, right? I play a lot, too much maybe. I don't know, but never too much. I don't know. But my wife plays games. My daughter is now a gamer. So it would be an exciting thing. And I'm hoping that this is like the start of something uh, where we see even more of this kind of thing than just Nintendo, right? The Mario, because when I think of like ultimate like video game theme park, I'm thinking of like Universal Studios style, where you have like a Halo themed ride, and you have like you have like who knows, Mario Kart, right? Stuff there. So you got a Sonic roller coaster, right? Or who knows what it is, but it just I my mind goes there to think of the possibilities of what could be even more than that. It's cool in itself, and I'm glad that this has started somewhere, and I hope it does really well, and that we get one here. And I hope it's in another area that's close to other theme parks where more people will check it out because they're already going somewhere else, and it's just nearby, right? I think it gives it more opportunity that way. So yeah, as far as Nintendo Park, it'd be awesome. Mario, I mean, but we would definitely be there within the first year, probably after it came out. Um, I hope it happens, and then I hope, like I said, I hope it succeeds, and I hope it grows from there because I want to see more of this kind of stuff, a lot more.
Yep, absolutely. I gotta agree with you there. Now,
Yes.
VJ. Oh, I'm sorry, Mav. Go ahead.
No, I just saw Pong Soul say Resident Evil haunted house. Heck yeah, man. That sounds awesome. I want to go in that haunted house.
Do speaking of which, Mav, if you went to this theme park, right?
Yeah.
You would probably not want to leave that area for most of the day. I imagine you as a gamer would want to hang out there and shake hands with the characters, take pictures with Bowser and all that. Would your wife
Yeah.
have to be like, "Come on, Mav, it's closing. Come on, Mav, let's go." And would she have to drag you out of there?
Probably so. But she likes that stuff too. She played Mario and that. So um it depends on what else is around us. If there's a makeup themed ride or a Starbucks attraction nearby, she might be trying to pull me away. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would have a hard time being moving on from that area as if it was just a part of it. That's why I say, like, I want I want a whole huge like Disney World type place, right, where all platform holders have come together, retro stuff, new stuff, and they all come together for this like massive theme park that's just dedicated to video game attractions and characters. I could just imagine the possibilities there would be amazing, and you could have huge arcades in it, stuff like that. But yeah, I would have a hard time leaving. So hopefully they have a hotel in that theme park. And I would want to stay there for a while, and maybe we would move there, and I would get a job there as like a janitor or something, just so I could live there also, pretty much. So yeah, now my mind's going different places. So be ready, babe. We're moving.
You know, it's funny. I had a friend from New York, Long Island, and when we came to visit in Florida back when we were like 20, 19, 20, I was gonna work in my uncle's pizza place business, and he wanted to work at Disney World. And I asked him why he wanted to work at Disney World, right? Because the guy thought it was kind of weird that he wanted to work there because he never watched Disney stuff. And he said his motive was, and listen to this. This reminds me kind of what you said, like you'd want to find out stuff and whatnot. His motive was he wanted to see how the underground of Disney World work, like how they transfer everything and how there's underground tunnels and you just pop up in places. He thought that was really cool. And when he was being interviewed to be a cast member at Disney World, he said, "Just give me a hazmat suit and make me a janitor and let me walk around the tunnels." And the lady said, "Why do you want to walk around the tunnels?" And he said, "Because I want to map out how this whole theme park is because it's really cool." And she says, "Okay, next on the job."
Yeah, that's a red flag. I want to map out the theme park tunnels.
Yeah.
I don't have any weird plans.
No. And honestly, I don't think he did have any weird plans. I think he was just so
Yeah.
fascinated with the architecture. But
Yeah, no,
it's
it's impressive. So it's a feat, that kind of creating those environments that can fit that many people, and they have the transit systems and the hotels and the different parks and stuff. It's pretty amazing what they accomplished with that.
yeah. BJ, my friend who lived in Hong Kong for 5 years. What do you think about Japan open up a Super Mario World in February? And is this something that you think is gonna be attractive to many people? And is this something that you would visit yourself if it came to Orlando soon?
Spent a lot of time visiting Japan, and when I was on the train journeys, you'd always see Disneyland marked up in Japanese and in English. So it was always an arm's reach, but I never went. But I'm failing to answer your question because I'm still mesmerized by Mav's tale of unrequited love. But hopefully he likes sushi burgers. No, I jest. But Japan is an expensive place, and a lot of people don't get to go to these places, even though they live in the same town. And I'm sure Universal Studios and Disneyland. I know Disneyland Paris is a complete rip-off. It's to me, it's an exorbitant sort of amounts of money that they charge for you to go to these places because your kids have a yearning for it. The family wants an outing. I guess I'm a little bit older now, and I would rather save my money for either for a good cause or for something that provided me more value, such as Game Pass. I know it sounds really boring, but I'm just winging it today, and that's where my thoughts have gone. I've always wanted to thump Mickey Mouse. I have no idea why. Maybe it's just a fetish. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Are you a furry?
I beg your pardon. But
I'll skip that question.
Okay, but
Just
Mario
go
Kart
to your fetish.
Okay, but Mario Kart Live go karting could be interesting. But yeah, look, I really do like Nintendo, and that because I've said on a previous topic a few moments ago where I'd happily pay $100 for the entertainment and engagement that Zelda provided me, right, and numerous other Nintendo games over the decades. So I guess that not from my point of view, but if I was visiting Japan again, with family and stuff like that, I think it is something that, depending on what the program actually was, because I don't know what the program is exactly, but depending on the program, it would serve very well. And I think I can understand where Mav is coming from. If he's got a young family, indeed, is that he can go there and then point to various things and talk to the history and his experiences and sort of pass them down to his children. Because if you look at this generation, if you look back at our generation before us, our parents and our grandparents, you'd be surprised how much knowledge dies with them. And I think that's a huge, huge shame, as well as the experiences that they have. Because we don't listen as much. We all think we know better, and until the time comes when we realize we don't, and but that knowledge is lost forever. But I think I'm sidetracking, so I will stop in case you take a star away.
I already gave you a star, BJ. I gave you an extra star.
Okay.
So
Okay,
you're
but I
up to
hope that helps.
4 stars now. 4.
Cal. Sorry, I shouldn't have said holy.
Oh, you're all right. So, I mean, I want to go ahead and go to this topic: the Black Friday deals, Cyber Monday deals. Mav, I'm sure that with the family, you guys are probably looking for deals and shopping as well. Did you find anything?
Well, yeah. First thing I did, I took advantage of some of the deals in the Xbox store. So I got like Command and Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars was like $2.99 or $3.99 or something crazy like that. Control Ultimate Edition, which a lot of people, if they listen to my podcast, know how I felt about that game and how they did what they did there with, the Ultimate Edition only being the one that gets enhanced and stuff. I went ahead and bit the bullet with that because it was on sale for $19.99. So I thought that was a decent enough value for me to go ahead and buy it again. So then I also got, let's see, I got the Capcom, or not the Capcom, I got the Street Fighter collection, which was like extremely cheap. The 30th anniversary collection. And I didn't really get as much new stuff, but then what I was really in the market for with Black Friday was I've been waiting for a while, was to pull the trigger on my daughter's Christmas gift. And I don't think she's listening, so I can go ahead and say. But so I'm getting her a gaming PC with a desk and a monitor and the whole setup. So we've been looking and waiting for deals on that stuff. So we got a pretty decent deal on like a kind of a beginner level gaming PC for her. She really wants to set up kind of like mine and to be able to play. So we're gonna trick it out and surprise her with it on Christmas. So that's the main thing we were targeting, and ended up getting a good deal. So I'm glad we waited and we're patient.
Nice. That sounds awesome. I think that's something that your daughter's probably going to be like super excited for when she sees it.
Oh yeah, she will be. I hope so. Otherwise, it's a waste of money.
VJ, did you pick anything up on sale?
I, for myself, selfishly, of course, 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate for an agreeable fee of, I think it was $22.50, which I thought was a deal. So I picked up 3 months of that. I spent nothing further so that my wife could have the privilege of doing so to her heart's content. So yeah, that was kind of giving and taking, right? Or taking and giving, or taking as little as possible and leaving the rest for her to do as she wishes. So that was my Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys knew this, but GameStop had an error. So on Black Friday, they had an error where it's buy one, get one free on all pre-owned titles. So I picked up 2 titles that I would never have purchased in my life or ever played before. So I picked up Dragon Ball Z, and I think it's like Karagkad or something. That was some weird name. And then One Piece World Seeker, because I knew in reality that I normally would never buy those games. And I got them both for like $14 and then whatever shipping was. So I was like, okay, that's a deal. I'll give it a try, get some achievements and that stuff. Hopefully I can get into those games. If not, then I could probably turn around and just sell them back to GameStop for as much as I paid for them. So I'm not too upset about that. And then, what else did I get? I did some shopping at GameStop for my wife, but I can't say for what because she's here. And then Oh man, what else did I get? I know I got something else. I can't remember. It's just slipping my mind. Maybe I just have too many games on my Xbox and that's why I can't remember. Oh, I picked up Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for like $2.99. That was one.
Nice.
I picked up PS Plus for $30 for the year. Because I ran out of PS Plus and the PS Plus collection and all those free games were kind of worth it. So
hmm
I figured why not just get the full thing and get it over with because it's never going to go on sale again like that for another few months. And I think that's pretty much it. And I might have used some Xbox credit and I think I got on Destroy All Humans for like $20 as well on the dashboard. I think it was $20 on the dashboard, or I got it off, or I turned credit into Amazon credit and got it on Amazon, something like that. But I got that for $20.
Nice. Yeah, another thing, all the games I got, yeah, I got those with Microsoft Rewards also. So yeah, Microsoft Rewards is awesome. I love that.
It is. Do you ever buy your wife like those Sephora Ulta cards off there with your Microsoft
No,
Reward
but
points?
you just said out loud that that exists. So thank you very much. I was
What?
trying to hoard those for my own games.
It doesn't exist, Caitlin. If you're listening, it does not exist. So if he has 50,000 points, it's not even worth a $2 card on there, and it doesn't
Yeah.
exist any further.
Well, in her mind, you know, the less I spend on video games, the more she can spend on makeup, right? So it all works out the same in the end.
Yeah, my wife loves makeup too, but my wife does spend more on video games, less on makeup. She's yelling.
Yeah.
She's saying what in the background? Don't I
What?
lie? Don't I lie to those people? I think we should turn every Ulta and Sephora into like a GameStop or a video game store.
Hey, just have a game station in there for us, like with a couch, just to sit down and play games
I mean,
while we're out shopping.
that's not a bad idea. We should email Ulta and Sephora that and have a game
Yeah.
station there for guys. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
You know, this is a good idea. What if okay, in the Sephora or Ulta or wherever, you just have these game stations where people can demo like lots of different games, right? And then you can purchase a code right out of a vending machine.
That would be cool. And that's definitely more important than buying makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun for hours.
Try and buy all in one little kiosk.
My wife's asking who I'm talking to. I'm talking to Mav because his wife loves makeup just as much as you do.
So do I.
BJ says he loves makeup too.
I love cross-dressing Wednesday on a Friday.
Wednesday on a Friday, he cross-dresses. She's asking me what's going on. Yeah, so I mean, those were some of the deals that I picked up, and Mav, what you got sounds pretty awesome. BJ, that was definitely a good deal on the 3 months ultimate for sure. Like half off right there, so can't blame you for getting that.
Absolutely.
And I'm deciding which topic to go with next because we're almost at the 2-hour mark.
I'll just go through all of them. We'll finish all of them. Don't worry.
So I want to throw a curveball topic, right? So as a kid growing up, I liked the Tromaville films. I love them. And the producer of Tromaville actually follows me on one of my other Twitter accounts. And I used to talk to him a lot, but I stopped talking to him. But he's a really fun guy. Like, he's a really cool dude. We should interview him on this channel as well. He's very eccentric. But, so, according to IGN, Peter Dinklage, as you guys know for Game of Thrones and other movies and other shows, is set to play in the Toxic Avengers reboot. You guys familiar with Toxic Avenger?
I have seen things about Toxic Avenger, but I don't know if I'm losing any kind of cred here, but I have not watched it.
No, you're not.
I am
cred.
familiar, though. I am familiar.
You might have gained some cred by not watching it.
I'm having to. Dragon Wolf says VJ. I could see VJ's Frankenfurter. I'm gonna have to Google what the hell that is now.
So toxic event, like trauma films usually involve like it's almost like horror comedy, but it's not even really horror. It's done so poorly that it can't even be considered horror. And usually evolves either around scantily dressed girls or mutants, like mutant high schools or stuff like that. Well, Toxic Avenger is about a mutant janitor who's always
Wait a
picked
second.
on. Uh-oh.
Oh, everything okay?
Oh yeah, she's giving me a hard time about the makeup.
Oh.
I thought I was actually in trouble here. I was like, wait, what happened?
I thought
Yes.
she was gonna say that she watched Toxic Avenger as a kid growing up.
I think I just was scrolling through, and
That's
then
bullshit.
Uh-oh. I just got caught. Did I get you in
G13.
trouble, man?
I told you, Clownz. It's over. It's over for me. Oh, this is great. Hey, I'll get you one next time. I promise.
You'll get me all of them for a while until I'm over this betrayal. You are
Done.
a fraud.
Oh gosh, you guys can hear her, huh?
Yeah, my wife would probably be saying the same thing if she knew the amounts that I've used my points on. So,
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know, babe. She's
But I
kidding,
am
guys.
this.
all right, I thought she was about to do that. Yeah, like Fork Boy got slapped by his wife on live.
God,
God,
Brock when you said that.
I thought that was about to happen here. So Toxic Avenger's about like this
Ran up here as fast as I could.
like mutant janitor. Anybody in the chat ever seen any Tromaville films? Take it, no? Maybe? Well, look it up. It's pretty terrible and it's funny. And they even had a cartoon in the 80s. Was it the 80s? Late 80s, yeah. And I remember it was like on the what was Cartoon Network or CW Network back then? It was something else, but it was like on the equivalent of CW Network. And I remember
Is
that
it WB, wasn't it?
was it WB?
Or was it UPN? I don't
It
remember.
actually might have been UPN. That might have been it. But they had a national number to call in to win a contest, right?
Mhm.
And I remember, like, I sat there staring at the TV screen in my youngin' days, and I called that number over and over and over to a busy signal. And then I started using like 3 different phones in my house, 3 different portable phones, and I'd have one ready to go as soon as the other one hung up. And when I finally got through, I called like I want to say maybe like 5 hours after the show ended because I wanted to see if I'd still get anybody. And I got somebody at the station, at one of the stations, said, "Sorry, our nationwide contest ended. You almost won." And I'm like, "What time did it end?" And he was like, "Oh, 5 hours ago." I was like, "So I almost won?" And I was a kid, and I believed this guy. So looking
Wow.
back, yeah, that's my memory of Toxic Avenger. Even though I used to watch the movie with my dad loved Tromaville stuff. So yeah, so if Peter Dinklage does play in that, it's gonna be hysterical. I don't think they'll ever be able to make that movie like the horror that it was supposed to be or the scariness that it was supposed to be. It's just
Right.
it's really bad, really bad.
It's kind of seemed like a Swamp Thing a little bit, but not.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of what it reminds me of. Yeah, it's cool, man. Like it'd be interesting. He's pretty funny, So, from what I've seen of that movie and that series, and I think there was even like a video game, if I remember.
oh yes.
On the Genesis, there was a video game. I think.
It was
I
so
can't remember the
bad,
name.
it didn't sell well.
But yeah, I'm curious to see what that would be like in today's day and age. It could be pretty fun. It's not every movie or thing has to be super serious and like well made. Some things can just be fun and stupid, and that's okay, right? So I'm curious. Maybe I'll go back and watch the old one, the first one, because I think there was like 3 or 4 of those, wasn't there? 3 or 4 movies.
Yep, there was.
So yeah, I'll go back and watch the original one just to brush up before the Dinklage.
Well, the VJ doesn't really, I don't think, knows much about this, right, VJ?
I mean, I can only speak to Peter in this instance. Someone close to me met him at an important event. I guess my takeaway is I think Peter is a kind of a very well recognized, if not established and respected actor, right, amongst his peers. If indeed there are any at all, I've only seen him perform a few times. This is obviously going by somebody who's actually met him, but I think he's shown most, if not the many, hard work, commitment, and more so, and a lesser known fact, I guess, about Peter, that staying sort of morally principled in what roles he would or would not accept can ultimately achieve your goals, and I think he's done that, and I think that's a great credit to him. So that's all I've got to say.
Okay, fair enough. And maybe he just wants to relax now and do something funny and what he
No,
considers
well, I
like
think
stupid
he
humor.
just wants to- No, I think he just wants to do something to entertain you personally.
Maybe he's seen my love for Tromaville films and he's like, that Clownz guy on Twitter, I like that guy. I'm gonna do something that he's gonna want to see me in, acting, and get a laugh. Thank you, Mr. Dinklage. I appreciate your support, my Tromaville support. I appreciate it, buddy. And maybe we need to interview you on this channel one day. So yeah, hit me up. Feel free. DMs are open.
Peter Dinklage is also the voice of the bot guy in the first Destiny, right?
They've replaced them with
Yeah, they replaced him
with Nolan North, I think.
Yeah, I remember when that game came out, and it was it. A lot of people didn't like it, his performance with that, but I liked it. I don't know.
I thought it was better too. Yeah. Oh, the good old days, Peter. The good old days. So the last topic is, just any games that you're looking forward to. I'll go real quick. I am not really looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. I know a lot of you guys are. I'm sorry. Flamish is really excited about it. He's like, Clownz, how can you not be looking forward to it? And that's his voice there, by the way. Real voice. Not imitated. And I'm looking forward to I think I'm looking forward to Immortals Phoenix Rising now. That's one game I'm looking forward to. 12 minutes is another game. Hellblade 2 does look really good when I think about it, so I'm kind of looking forward to trying out that experience. I never played part 1. I probably should, but I'm looking forward to that part 2. The next Forza game, I'm always looking to Forza games. I'm really looking forward to Fable, and I know that's not going to be out for a while, but that is my number one favorite series from Xbox next to Battletoads. I really did love the Battletoads reboot. By the way, you guys should check out the interview with Delilah Studios, and you guys should play Battletoads. It's a lot of fun. It's a Game Pass, so if you haven't, play it. It's fun. Trust me. Mav, what are you looking forward to, man?
Oh, too much. I'm looking forward to a lot. Halo Infinite is my most anticipated game. I'm sold on it. I want it. I need it in my life. Hopefully sooner than later, but we'll see. It needs to be finished first. So, Halo Infinite, Cyberpunk. I'm looking forward to that. Starfield. I don't even know what Starfield is, but I just know who the creators are, right? And I know what they've made before, and I know what they said about it already. So that's enough for me. I'm sold. Elder Scrolls 6, whenever that gets announced, I know that's a ways off. Fable, 100%. I can't wait for that. I want Forza Motorsport to come back in a big way. I'm super excited for that. Ratchet and Clank actually looked really fun. I want to play that game.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Nintendo comes out with a new Metroid. That needs to happen. I know it was announced, right? But we haven't seen anything from it. So I really want to play that. Far Cry 6.
Ooh,
And I
yeah.
could go down a list. I would say Halo Infinite, and whenever they freaking come out with a new Splinter Cell will be my most anticipated, but yeah, that's probably not going to happen for a little while. So
Fair enough. BJ, you looking forward to anything?
Let's have a think. I think that for me, it's an interesting question, and it does go back to like live in a golden age of gaming right now. So
yeah,
currently, and we're incredibly spoiled. I've got like 40 odd games in Game Pass that, as I previously mentioned in the show earlier, that I'm trying, and because I want to experience and engage with them purely because either the Indie Gamer and others in the chat, Shizno Ali and Dragon Wolf, are recommending other games that I should play. But I tend to try to complete games. I really don't like waste. Cyberpunk 2077 is an obvious choice, as is the imminent and intriguing Call of the Sea. I guess I would have included the Medium in the short term, but obviously that's postponed into next year. And I think very much like Mav, at some point I would like to purchase the PlayStation 5. I don't feel a need to do so right now, but I would like to, in order to sort of play and continually enjoy the ongoing narrative, tales, or stories in Ratchet and Clank, Horizon Zero Dawn, and God of War franchises. And I'm in total agreement with Mav. Ratchet and Clank is a fantastic game. It has a superb narrative, and it's how would you say it over here in America? Very chilled, shall we say? And in terms of independently developed games, and if I didn't mention some of these that I'm personally looking forward to, I'd probably get a slap from the Indie Gamer. As far as I can tell, the list that I've got, that games that I've sort of tracked and followed, and obviously not limited to. One was Backbone. Last Stop is another one. Stray, 12 Minutes. The Medium I've obviously mentioned. And in terms of me personally, I grew up, as I said to you, I spent a lot of time in Asia, and I grew up on a lot of Japanese RPG games. And I think Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is something I'm looking forward to. I do hope that Final Fantasy Remake Part 1 is in Game Pass after April 11th. After April the 11th, once the Sony 1 year exclusivity expires. I think that would be a good, a decent, actually, in fact, an excellent addition to Game Pass if Microsoft Xbox can work out a deal with Square Enix. Talking of Square Enix, I finished Dragon Quest XI, and I am looking forward to the 2D version because I never played the definitive version, never bought the Game Boy version. So Dragon Quest 12, I'm really interested to see if that will be a cross-gen title or something off in the far-flung future just on the Switch, or if it indeed makes its way to next-gen consoles. That's something I'm looking forward to. And I did finish What Remains of Edith Finch. So at the top of my mind, I've actually finished a couple of games this week. Whatever Giant Sparrow, the studio obviously, has planned for us next. Sorry, that's just right on the forefront in my immediate memory banks, Clownz. So it's kind of hovering there, so I had to mention it. But yeah, as I said, we're incredibly spoiled, and I think there's just a plethora of games right now that we can enjoy. And there's also some obvious ones that we all want to experience because of their beauty, their majesty, and pure inspiration in terms of like games like Cyberpunk, which are sort of once in a generation calling, right, to everybody to experience. Even if you're not a big fan, right, you can appreciate what they've accomplished. And I just hope it really runs well. I mean, I know we started off the first topic about the whole conspiracy theory. I'll be really disappointed if that narrative continues into that game. I just wish everyone would just button it, and move on and enjoy the game for what it is and in the spirit that it was made in. Because as I said to you, it's an incredible studio in terms of what they do, and long may it continue. So those are my thoughts, Clownz. So I don't know if that deserves another star or if I'm filing for bankruptcy.
Nope, you're getting more stars there, VJ. I think I'm giving you extra stars here.
The cow.
Hold on, let me give you 8 stars. It's not gonna look even because I'm hurrying, but
just take the stars. About even.
There you go. Eight gold stars, VJ.
Thank you.
Balan looks so cool. Yeah, Shizno, that the game does look pretty good. It's made. I think it's made by the guys that did some of the Sega games, right? Or no, Dreams Nights called. I think that was it.
Sorry, which game from Sega?
Bowland Wonderland, I think it's called.
Yeah, Balan Wonderland. I think Yuji Naka's back on that, right? Because I think he was on the original Knights game on
Yep.
Saturn. Yeah, I remember. Do you remember the funny controller that it came bundled with as well?
No.
It came with a special controller, that game.
Yeah,
No,
that game looks pretty fun to me. That I thought that was one of the better things from that pre-show for the Xbox Game Showcase. That it seems like it is going to be fun for anybody. You know, I know my daughter will like it, and I think it might be fun for me too.
But
I like the character design and the art in that game, and it seemed like it had some pretty good music too.
But you guys, oh, sorry, maybe I'm too old, but I thought you guys might remember Knights on the Sega Saturn. It came with a special 3D white pad. It was like a circular, and with 6 buttons. It was very very unique at the time. But I don't.
I remember the game, but I didn't have a Saturn. I only had the PS1.
It may have only been the Japanese version. I don't know if it was ever released like that in the US, but yeah, it did. It's one of those things that people don't remember, but it did come with a very special controller for that specific game. It was a cool set as well. But anyway, I'm digressing again, so I'll just back to you, Clownz.
Okay, that's no problem, VJ. You got 8 gold stars today. You did very well. If I could duplicate all those 8, I'd give you 16, but I gotta do it one by one. So
I know where he's next.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say before we get out of here is that one of our good friends of the community last night told us a horrible story. And I spoken with Tim Dog, and one of the ideas is that we're going to try to do like maybe across different podcasts, maybe do a fundraiser for him or try to help him out in some way. He was waiting in line Black Friday at the mall for a Series X or PS5, and somebody approached him, put their arms on him, and in a COVID environment that we're in right now, in the 6-foot distancing rule, he took the guy's arm off him and said, "Back up, buddy." The guy got confrontational with him. PK or whatever just said, "Yeah, yeah," to him, and the guy comes back with brass knuckles and just pounds him in the back of the head. And our buddy PK was put in the hospital for 2 days, unconscious. His vision was blurry, memories foggy. He suffered a broken orbital bone. And it was just a horrible experience for somebody that was just looking to get a console. It was taken way too far, and this should have never happened. This shouldn't happen to anybody. Um, just a terrible thing, man. So Tim Dog and I were talking, and we're gonna try to set something up. Gonna talk to him some more when he has some time, and hopefully be able to do something for PK. But he's a huge gaming fan. He's a real big fan of Phil and Aaron. Well, thinks they're great guys, and hopefully maybe Phil or Aaron may follow him on Twitter as well. That would make his day. I just feel so bad for him. So keep looking for that. We're gonna do something. I just don't know exactly how or what yet. Somebody proposed like a GoFundMe, but I'm not familiar with those things. So I asked somebody in the Gamers United Guild maybe to run that because I don't know how that works. But yeah, so that's one story I wanted to get out there. They know who the guy is that did it, but of course I'm gonna keep the topic limited due to PK's privacy reasons, and he told me I could talk about it. He's not upset if I talk about it. I just don't want to say too much, without him being here. But very sad story, guys. Very terrible. The other thing is that right after this podcast, go hang out with the Retro Renegades crew. They should be live as well. And before we do that, Mav, I'm gonna go to you. Where can people find you these days, man, when your wife's not yelling at you for spending Microsoft points on games instead of makeup?
Well, you can find me at Sephora. I'll be there in about 30 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, you can find me at Fun Speculation on YouTube, Fun Speculation on Twitter. Check out Xbox Ultimate Podcast. It's Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Fun Speculation YouTube channel. And also here Tuesdays, Four Guys with Quarters, and also Fridays on Next Gen Squad Podcast with Mads Gaming. And that usually is 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And yeah, my thoughts are with you, PK. I remember we did talk a little bit last night when you were kind of breaking down everything that happened. So crazy people out there. Everybody be safe. You never know when some body out there is not sane or has bad motives, and so anyway, thoughts are with him, and as far as I know now, he's healing up good. So we're glad it's not worse, right? Even though as bad as it was. And let's all have fun and play games tonight. Hey, Fortnite event part 2 is on tonight, so I'll be streaming that because they cut it in 2 parts, kind of for some reason. So check that out later tonight, guys.
Well, VJ, when you're not doing your Wednesday to Tuesday thing or whatever you said earlier, or taking the train in Japan, or visiting Hong Kong 5 years at a time, where can people find you, man?
Just wanted to say I don't know the gentleman that you spoke about, but I think everybody, well, on this panel and in the chat, and that's listening to your story, wish him well. It's isn't it shocking that in this day and age, and I'm really glad you brought up the topic and the subject matter and the news, and I can understand the sincerity and the horridness, right, of having to do so, but I think everybody should be aware. And isn't it shocking that in this day and age, people don't think and they don't know the meaning between right and wrong? And I think it's fundamentally a very sobering thought that we can't shy away from. So I'm so glad that you talked about it, and the gentleman in question allowed it to be spoken of today. So I appreciate that. If you want to find me, you can find me on Mr. Tushi's community gaming nights. I'm kind of done with self-promotion. I've never felt very comfortable with it, but because it's for the community and somebody who's all about community and invites anybody from any walk of life from anywhere over the world, I think it's important, and we do have a good fun time, and some interesting topics and topics of conversation do arise, and I know you're both there anyway, more regularly than I am. I'm just a newcomer, but I just want to say that I fundamentally enjoy it, even though I never got a single kill in Halo, but never mind. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday night, and you'll find me there, and you can have a chat if you like.
All right, nice, VJ. Well, for all the other stuff VJ does, I retweet his stuff out all the time, so you should see him on my Twitter feed a lot, on the shows he's in. He's in a lot of different shows during the week now, which is really cool to see him do that. Yeah, VJ got 8 stars Midway. He really should have like 18 stars by now, but for the limit of duplication, I was having some issues lining them up properly, so
that's Midway's fault for not being on the show today. So,
yeah.
I hope
you feel better, Midway. You can find Midway at Midway 7 Monster, I think, on Twitter. I'll give him a shout out because I always forget how he says it. When he's not hulking up in Illinois, he doesn't call it Illinois. By the way, he made that clear. It's Illinois. And Flamish, you can find Flamish, who you've seen earlier on the show, on Flamish Experience on his channel. I think it's like Flamish Boyle or something. I don't know the exact name, but just look at Flamish. He pops up. He's got like the dragon head. You can find him on 4GQ TV News, on the interviews, and on this show at times when he's available. Next week we should have a special guest. That Mama Rocks is going to be on here. And y'all can find me at Italian Clownz on all social media. 4GWQ Podcast, 4 Guys with Quarters, 4GQ TV, the interviews. December 4th, we have Jim Hydril from EA. He's going to be on here, and I got to get with him and get the schedule set straight. So if anybody's available on the panel, you guys are free to jump in. It should be, I think, 2 or 3 p.m. Central Time, I think it is, he said. I always get confused on this time zone stuff. So I'm bad with time zones. Yeah, but until next time, guys, until next week, see you guys later.